Back on your pregame show. Don't forget, we will have an interview with our head coach, Darshea Gallard, coming up here in just a minute. The visitors, the Battling Bears from Rocky Mountain College in Billings. They have yet to play a match. The CWC women are 2-2. Let's look ahead for the CWC women. They will play this weekend, and they have a pretty good opponent schedule coming up. They'll play Western Wyoming and College of Southern Idaho. They'll play these in Salt Lake. They'll play Western Wyoming, and they'll play CSI. CSI is receiving votes in the top 20 of the NJCAA poll, so they'll have them on the list. And then on Saturday, they'll play 12th-ranked Western Nebraska, whom they just fell in 3-2 at Scotts Bluff. And they'll also play 13th-ranked Salt Lake, so they're going to play 3 of the top 25 teams in the country.
We've talked about programs that are the premier programs in the various states, and there you've got those 3 states we keep talking about, Nebraska, Idaho, and Utah.
And the only one you're missing is Snow, who is ranked 2nd in the country right now.
Interesting,
out of
because
Region
typically
18.
they take a, maybe not a big backseat, but they're somewhat trail Salt Lake quite often in the various sports.
Was looking to see if we have snow on the horizon, not weather-wise, but volleyball-wise, and I don't think we actually have them. But
we don't need no stinking Badgers.
3 big games.
So.
And you got to play Western Wyoming, who's a conference opponent. And so 4 big matches, I think, for the CWC women this weekend on the road. CWC basketball teams had a disappointing and frustrating home weekend as the women were beaten by 8 by Lamar on Friday, and then were beaten by a little bit more than that on Saturday when they were beaten by, unfortunately, historic highs for the opponent, historic lows for the home team, an 85-point differential. And they'll go this weekend where they'll play Salt Lake Community College, and they will play Snow Community College this weekend for the CWC ladies. The men's team fell in overtime 87-80 to Lamar. They will also play Snow on Friday. They'll play Salt Lake on Saturday at the Rock Springs Invite at the Western Wyoming College. And so that is what things have got for the CWC athletes coming up here on the horizon. Next, home games for the teams. Monday, February 1st, the CWC men will host Colorado Northwestern. It is a single-game affair. The men.
That was the add-on.
Yep, then that was the, I guess, the postponement. They were supposed to play tomorrow night against the men and the women from Colorado Northwestern, but Colorado can't travel till after the first of the month of February, so they'll travel on the first day of the month of February. The men's team only. The women's team will travel to Rangeley on Wednesday. The volleyball team is back home for the Volleyball Classic Friday and Saturday of next weekend, hosting Northwest College of Powell and Colorado Northwestern of Rangeley.
And all these schedules really ought to be written in pencil, because there are so many changes that are taking place, can take place, or may not even happen.
Yeah, we have a Google Doc going on between the broadcasting department, the table help, and the athletic department, Sarah Watson. And anytime there's a change, it comes up on there. And so she's doing a heck of a job keeping up on that. All of these changes are reflected first on RustlerAthletics.com, so you can go there and check those out here.
In fact, this was a game we were wondering about. In fact, is also.
Yeah, exactly. And that was more, I guess, on the other side of COVID protocol than it was anything else. But apparently all is well, so everything's going to transpire and take place the way it should. We will continue on your pregame show. We'll have a visit with our head coach, Darshea Gallard. We'll then take a look at our participants in tonight's game. We'll do that next. This is Rustler Volleyball on 88.1. Rustler Volleyball on a Tuesday night as we take a look at the home team here as they are out on the court in their white uniforms, the black numbers, and the orange trim. Darshea Gallagher in her 4th season, assisted by Brooke Thompson. Went 14-18 last year, the best record since 2014 for Central Volleyball. Went 1-2 at regionals, first regional win since 2014. And when you look at a season that's 14-18, and unfortunately was one of your most successful in the last 5-6 years, but it is what it is.
And they've got some good parts back from that team last year, so I think hopefully this will be a team where they'll have a better record than that one last year. Maybe get on the winning edge of the one loss column.
Starting out at 2-2, they had an All-Region 9 performer in sophomore returner Sage Burnson. This was in 2019, and it's weird. They go and they play their entire season, and then all of a sudden the spring gets crazy, and they're like, well, thankful it didn't affect our season. Well, then here it rolls around, and it completely affects their season to where they're playing, a semester later than they normally would have.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, too, what happens when, say, regionals do come around. How will they play that? Will it be, on sites and then try to get to just a championship game?
I believe it's on the schedule that Darshea shares with me. It says Casper will be the host site of that, and I don't know any more details than that right now.
But that's tentative, obviously, too, because, it's
fluid for sure. Central 2-2 on the weekend, beat number 11 Otero, who has since dropped from the rankings. Lost to number 19 Western Nebraska, who is now number 12 in the newest rankings. Other rankings, as I mentioned, and this is a pretty good representation of Region 9 and Region 18, which make up a number of the opponents for Central. Snow College ranked number 2nd. NJC out of Sterling, Colorado is ranked 9th. Utah State Eastern is 11th. Salt Lake is 13th. Eastern Wyoming is 16th right now.
Boy, it's hard to believe that it's that powerful to have that many representatives from here, because I cannot think of the last time. When was a team from these two regions a national champion? I guess, was it College of Southern Idaho
would think
or something
so,
like
yes.
there in somewhere?
Yes.
But for the most part, in recent years, I don't think there's been many champions coming out of those two regions, despite how many rankings there are.
It's kind of been that powerhouse Miami-Dade as of late.
But have some colleges maybe canceled seasons, like the Ivy League, for example, in Division I has done so.
Miami-Dade's still at the top of the rankings, so they haven't canceled for sure.
Largest junior college in the country, by the way.
This is a team, as I mentioned, led by Sage Burnson, the sophomore, 34 kills. Ava Rasmussen, sophomore, 26 kills and 13 blocks. And then a freshman, Mackenzie Templeton, had 16 kills in one match last week, ended up with 25 for the weekend. Mary Moyle, returning sophomore, 20 kills, 24 digs as well. Alondra Hernandez, number 13. She has got 54 digs. And then Peyton Williams, sophomore returner, is number 2 on the digs. Sophie Langer is the top setter. And then Caitlin Lacasio is the runner-up setter so far. Ava Rasmussen leads the blocking parade with Missy Mortensen jumping in there as well, just one block behind.
And these are numbers when they're kind of experimenting with the roster too, so some of these numbers may get bigger, some may decrease as well, but and I also see a change in the libero, I think. I thought
Marley Albrecht is going to take over the libero jersey tonight as opposed to
Peyton
Williams
has played it.
And another one that we talked about just a second ago as well, that being Sophie Longer. So that's different libero going on there. The libero on the other side is Sam Oliver out of Havre, Montana.
Interesting. The line judges are wearing gloves, which I guess it makes sense. I just had not, wasn't aware that would be the case as they're putting them on as we speak.
We're going to have a national anthem, so we will step aside for that, and we'll come back with the starting lineups in volleyball right after this. Steve Barlow will be giving the starting lineups for today, as the visitors, of course, they are from Rocky Mountain College.
I've got 2 brand new gold front teeth, and nobody's ever seen them because of this match.
Not sure.
I believe that is true.
Stand-up comedy has kicked off tonight from our athletic director.
And again, no fans.
And again, no fans, for sure. Kiara Coulter out of Broadus, and Sam Oliver out of Havre. Laney Wilkins from Brush Prairie, Washington. Emma Fox is from Bozeman. Sierra Walsh from Skyview High School in Billings. Daphne Boyd from Vegas. Bailey King from Billings. From Gardner, Montana, Erica Davis from Manhattan, Kansas, and Sydney Wilson from Casper, who attended Sheridan College last year, and then they've done away with athletics, and so she is.
We picked up a basketball player that way, didn't we?
There you go. Sage Burnson, then Ava Rasmussen, Ashlyn Ibaugh, Mary Moyle, Ashley Steffen of Shoshone High School, Mackenzie Templeton from Highland, Utah. Caitlin Lacasio out of Littleton, Colorado. Your libero Marley Albrecht from Sandy, Utah tonight. Peyton Williams from Syracuse, Utah. Missy Mortensen from Clearfield. Haley Isom from Taylorsville. And Jordan Flippens from Hiram. And Sophie Langer.
Interesting order.
Yeah, one did not start the roster, but that's where it starts.
They
down.
listed her wearing 17, I noticed, in the tournament in Nebraska a couple of times.
Must have been like a different jersey, because she is listed at number 1. And so not going to introduce basically starters, just going to go ahead and introduce everybody on both sides, and instead of the traditional run to the net, it is the wave from the end lines. Central dressed in their white uniforms on the right side of the court as we look at it. Down the other side, the Bears of Rocky Mountain College. Billings, Montana. Started to get a little snowstorm last night in Fremont County, and the question was, how much are we going to get? What's the northern part of the state going to get? And are the Bears going to get here? And they left about noon. And here they are, and they're going home, and they will spend the night in their own bed tonight. So
they're the battling polars. Something I didn't realize until just a couple years ago, Riverton is closer to Billings than it is to Cheyenne. And I don't know why it took me that long to figure that out, but having made the trip too many times to those 2 places, I figured it out eventually.
And Cheyenne doesn't have a Shields.
That's true.
Or a Texas Roadhouse. Oh, yeah, they do have a Texas Roadhouse. I'm sorry. I just ate there a couple weeks ago, as a matter of fact. So, Emma Fox, a 5'9" freshman from Bozeman, Montana, I think is going to start this serving. Central's going to start Rasmussen, Burnson, Moyle. Also going to put Peyton Williams back there as well. Sophie Langer. And number 15 is Missy Mortensen, the 6-foot freshman from Clearfield. And then, of course, your libero, as I mentioned, Marley Albrecht, a 6'1" freshman from Sandy, Utah. 17 girls on this Central roster. And everybody played last week on the road at Rocky Mountain.
Sophie Langer is from Fountain Hills, Arizona. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but Fountain Hills, they call that because they've got 3 jet turbines that force a fountain in the middle of that city. And it goes like about 300 feet in the air. So bonus knowledge there.
There you go. Gotta like bonus knowledge. Emma Fox, a 5'9" freshman from Bozeman, going to serve, and we're sorry you fans can't be in the crowd tonight, but we're glad to bring it to you as the overpass will be sent over by Rasmussen to the outside. Swing by Boyd is dug in the back row. Central from the 10-foot line, and a block by Bailey King. She's 6'3" from Billings Senior High School, and Bailey King will register the first point of the game on a block, a solo block right at the middle of the net. 1-0 Bears.
Our first setter when we brought back the sport was from Billings Senior High School, Katie St. John, and quite a setter she was.
Set over by Templeton, brought back over by the Bears in Boyd. Back to Templeton down the line. It is out, no touch. 2-0 Bears here early. Again, I'm John Gabrielson. That's Joel Kindle, Riley Bouillon, student broadcaster, hanging out with us here I'd say courtside, but we're about as far from the court as you can get and still be in the building as that pass set over the top of Rasmussen, and Chucky couldn't get to it, and it sails over her head out of bounds to the ground, and it's all of a sudden 3-0 Bears.
How rare is this? We have a volleyball player actually sitting on the bench for us.
Back out to Templeton. She'll go through the block and tally first points for Central. No crowd, but the team making their own noises. First kill of the evening. Rasmussen will serve. Hard jump serve. The libero brought it up. Outside Wilson. Dug on the backside by Peyton. And then another stuff block at the front by Bailey King, her second of the night. Have to find a way to get around that. 6'3" imposing block by Bailey King. Service by Boyd. A set back to the outside and through the block and a kill. Templeton, her second of the night. McKenzie again, 16 is her match high. She had that 16, I believe, in the fourth game of the weekend as they took apart Trinidad State. Langer will serve for Central, trailing 4-2 early on.
Kind of a knuckleballer there.
King, they'll rocket one off the ceiling and then free-balled over by Mortensen. King taps to the left of the block of Templeton, and Bailey King with 2 blocks and now a kill.
Don't worry, the ceiling finder stat will be back in action.
Yeah, we haven't.
Also the cumulative score, which only we have.
That was a hard hit because it was dug and then ricocheted off the ceiling in a heartbeat. And that ball sent outside from the right side by Templeton cross court. She's got 3 kills already.
That's probably how you get to 16 in a hurry, I guess.
Highland, Utah freshman 6-footer. Sage Burnson back into the lineup. Templeton will go back to serve now for Central. Cross court, nice dig by Albrecht. Down the line, Burnson will tally her first kill on the home floor this season.
That kind of an off-speed hit for her because she typically really powers it through, but I think the off-speed was quite effective, more of a directional kill.
Sage, the kills leader last year with 410 on the season.
Do you have the record for a career, by the way, there?
I do. She was second in season kills, by the way, as she'll poke another one over. Nice dig, though, by their libero. And then a nice tip back the other way that gonna find pay dirt by Sierra Walsh. Skyview Billings person.
It's going to be interesting, too, in a stat like that is how balanced is your team. You know, you might have great hitters, but if you've got balance, you may not have a jump, you know, somebody that stands out like that.
Nicole Merrill, 803 is the most since bringing volleyball back.
So I would have thought it would have been our second and third year player when we kind of had a favorite player, you know, like when the coach at Wind River, whose name escapes me. Well, heck, I got the program.
Kristen Cornea.
I was going to find it eventually.
They're going to call a lift on the Bears, and that's going to make it 6-5. And already my feeble stat-keeping ability taking a hit in this one.
I'm doing great on the roof hits.
Yeah, 1 so far. Albrecht, nice serve. That's going to be an ace. Marley Albrecht, first ace of the night for the Central ladies, and we're tied at 6 apiece.
Every program they ever had right here.
Call you the sports information department.
But yet you still beat me with the name though, but.
Service error number 1 on Central as Albrecht puts it into the bottom of the net. Basketball going on tonight in Fremont County, the big Lander versus Riverton contest. The girls game is underway in Tigertown. Coulter with the serve. Rasmussen hammers one down on a quick set, and Ava in the books.
I thought Langer doing a nice job with the sets out there.
I like antics on the end of the bench for the Central girls, resuscitating one with CPR there for a moment. Jump serve by Moyle. Outside Boyd, stuff blocked Rasmussen. And Central has their first lead of the night. Rasmussen leads this team in blocks. Mortensen right behind her in blocks. Over the block and kill for Sierra Walsh. And we are tied at 8 apiece. Central 5 kills to 3 kills for the Bears right now. This is the Rocky JV. Their varsity will open up a season Friday against Montana Tech. Is tipped over. King, nice dig by Albrecht. Dug back up, but then slapped on the overpass down by Kendra Long.
Montana Tech won the Frontier Conference last year, by the way, and Rocky Mountain tied for 3rd.
Do we still have any rustlers battling up there in the MS Montana State Northern, I guess? Nice dig by Albrecht that King can't send back, and we're tied at 9.
I thought I was doing pretty good with the standings, actually, but
you were. That got me thinking, how much more do you know? I need more information.
I'll give you the top 3 ranking in Division 1. I'll give you that in a bit.
Burnson to serve. Sage, little block at the net. Rasmussen got a piece of it. Rocky wanting a ball interference over the net. And they will say they'll get the call after the fact and take a 10-9 lead.
Interesting. Sarah Irigoyen, if that's how it's pronounced,
yes.
9th year as an assistant coach. That's somewhat unusual, but you think maybe you'd go up, or?
It's actually her 10th.
Well,
I know.
Get rid of this stuff.
That's why I talked with her, and I asked her, I said, 9 years. And I said, so you've outlasted a couple of coaches. And the former coach, and her name escapes me, she was with her for 8 years, then sat out a year, and then has been back a couple. Yang is the head coach, and she was an assistant with Sarah. As Rasmussen destroys one down the middle for her second kill of the evening.
Interesting, she gets that right after she was called for a violation.
Made her mad. Mortensen back into the Rustler roster. Peyton Williams, little ritual of touching the ball to her shoe before she gives it back to Ava.
Our 2 sport athlete of last year, one of our 3 actually from last year.
10-10 outside Wilson, cross court in front of Templeton, and Sydney Wilson with a kill. Again, the transfer from Sheridan College. Sheridan and Gillette ousting their sports programs amidst the COVID cutbacks as Erica Davis from Manhattan, Kansas, 6-foot freshman, comes into the front row for the Bears, leading by 1. Boyd serving. Templeton fights one through the block and will tally.
I guess our Sheridan player really was never a transfer because she never intended up there because the sports were stopped before she got there.
Was that Mortensen or was that Templeton that pounded that one down? It was McKenzie. King, heel of her hand, hits it over, back set, Moyle, cross, count it. First kill on the home season for Mary Moyle.
Yeah, one of our most versatile players. She can, do it from the back or the front.
Missed a good chunk of last season with an injury and then came back just before regionals last year. Central with a 12-11 lead. Langer serving. Set, tapped over. Langer is there. Moyle on the second hit sends it over. Back set, blocked by Templeton.
That's a nice play by Moyle. She was able to avoid the antenna as she was going at quite an angle.
Mackenzie Templeton's off to a good start. 4 kills and a block. And Langer to serve. It's an interesting vantage point for our coach. Oh, she's going to check her iPad recording. Usually don't see a coach from the end zone like that, but she was going to go check the technology as Erica Davis puts that into the net. Central has opened up a 3-point advantage
sneak
now.
a serve in with a second ball, one or the other.
14-11 Central, game 1 from C-Dub, and that's the second service error of the night as Langer sends that one deep and unplayable. Our normal mantra is service errors come in pairs, but haven't seen that in the 2 we've seen tonight. Oliver to serve. Not going to happen this time with the errors in pairs, as ball poked over by Mortensen, and then free balled kind of after a pinball attempt by Rocky, and it goes out of bounds, and Central back with a 3-point lead.
I think we're seeing more quick sets than I can recall really at any point in the year last year. We've seen that a couple of times effectively here tonight.
You know, they're talking about their freshman setters as well as Aubrey Whatcott, the Wiley sophomore veteran, moving on, and freshman setters coming in and doing nicely so far, as Moyle is going to be blocked, but nice pickup by Albrecht. Sage is going to hit the top of the tape and down, and it's 15-13 now. Rocky by 2 points. Daphne Boyd is from Las Vegas, and this is the longest road trip she's ever been on. The coach told me to play a game, and you know, when you come from those big cities,
I would think Nebraska might be the longer one.
Yeah. If well, she plays for Rocky Mountain. See, road
maybe
trips
she'll
don't
play in Nebraska.
The
at
home
some
team
point.
don't usually do road trips, but
But we did.
served
Also,
by
Alicia Glovat's also played some starting at setter last year too. And both setters are playing college ball.
Burnson tallies. Go ahead.
It's a TV broadcast. Hey,
On 88.1 FM too.
got to keep them guessing.
Serving is Marley Albrecht. Just in front, then an overpass. Rasmussen's shot is dug up. Albrecht is going to pass a set out to Moyle, who goes cross and out. No touch. Back to Daphne Boyd of Las Vegas from Rocky Mountain College, talking about long road trips, and her coach says, yeah, welcome to Montana, welcome to Wyoming, welcome to the conference, because their shortest road trip would be across the street, as you pointed out. Rasmussen heels one over. Cross court. Burnson back set to Moyle. Good dig by Lainey Wilkins, and a free ball by Oliver that doesn't climb over the netting, and Central will be up now 17-14. Moyle the serve. I don't think the lead's been bigger than 3 till now, as Moyle tallies another ace for Central.
Like I said, one of our most versatile players.
Spins the ball, puts it over. Went down the line, set by Wilkins, blocked by Rasmussen. 3 kills and 2 blocks in set 1 for Ava Rasmussen, and it's 19-14 Central, starting to pull away now with a 5-point advantage. Left-handed set, actually to the left-handed hitter, Kendra Long, goes into the net on that error, and Central now with a 6-point advantage.
Watched an ACC match earlier this year, Pitt and Notre Dame, and in the ACC they were playing with masks on.
Outside tip, blocked by Rasmussen, but she was in the net. And that will give the ball back to the Bears as they stop that mini run. I noticed in basketball this past weekend, I think it was Alacia Douglas from Western Nebraska wore a mask,
right.
and she was probably the only one on the court of any of them that actually did wear the mask.
Didn't impact her game too much.
No, she had a pretty good field day this weekend as Burnson hits that one into the tape and down on an error.
In fact, I was trying to think of a weakness of that Western Nebraska girls women's basketball team. I thought of one, and that would be their guards are very short. An athletic guard, because they play man-to-man all the time. Get an athletic guard down low, perhaps. An
Yes.
athletic big guard.
Ava Rasmussen is going to flip one over the top of the block for the Rustlers, and 5 kills for the South Jordan sophomore.
We have always recruited Utah hard in volleyball since we're the inception of bringing it back.
Burnson, nice serve. Coulter dug it up though, and Albrecht, nice job there once, but Langer couldn't get over there as it didn't get very high off of the attempt from Albrecht that came up, and it's 21-17. We're going to see Sydney Wilson from Casper, Wyoming. Also Emma Fox from Bozeman back into the game. Las Vegas and Kansas. There's another one on the roster from Wyoming, but Sydney Dobbin not on the court tonight for the Bears. Outside Templeton, dug in the back court by Oliver after a touch. Peyton Williams in the back row as they'll send that one too hard, and King will block another one.
Yeah, the overpass.
I wonder if we give her a kill or a block on that one. And we'll get a timeout on the court. Game 1, 21-18, Central out in front. Again, this is our first broadcast with our students, as this is the second day with students back on campus. And Amanda Nikoloff down there instructing Jackson Morris right now. He's on the floor camera. Also, Wyatt Barichka down on the floor with the other camera. Our director is Dominic Dianzi. Logan Miller on the game cam up here high atop. Newmark Rika Franca is on the other camera. And then Ryan Whitehurst and Jackson Morris taking over camera duties there. And Riley Bouillon will swap with Wyatt Barichka. Those are our student staff from the new media department providing you with the sights of Rustler Gymnasium. And again, Dominic Dianzi and Riley Bouillon, both of our CWC men's golf team that will be getting underway sometime soon once the snow melts, so about July.
Which is typically the Evanston high school team that we move up here after they graduate, it seems like.
Dominic from Evanston, Riley a little further west.
In the past, we've had a lot of Evanston golfers.
Yes, we have. This is Rustler Radio, 88.1 KCWC FM Riverton. Also streaming live at rustlerathletics.com. Appreciate you watching wherever you are watching out there. We see Brazil is watching, and King will tally another smash.
Where's our Brazil connection, out of curiosity?
I just got a hello from Brazil, so somebody's watching from Brazil.
Oh, a chip shot there for CWC.
Sneaks over, and it's 22-19. King high over the block. Good attempt at a dig in the back row by Mary Moyle, but King got some elevation and hit it straight over the intended block, and tallies big there as Rasmussen will come out of the contest. (22-20) Central. Ball tipped over by Templeton and in.
I say it hit the antenna, I'm guessing the top judge is.
Well, they're going to confer now. I don't think it. They're talking about it, obviously. They're going to say it falls on the Rocky side, and they'll give the point to Central. Sophie Langer serving, 23-20. Roll shot from the back row. Nice dig by the Central libero. Templeton off the block, and then Daphne Boyd can't get it. And Mackenzie Templeton's having a game. 6 kills and a block already in game 1. And now it is match point, and we've got a stop in play as Adam Simon, our trainer, is going to come and talk to our libero.
We talked about our first-year team a bit ago. We have a cousin from a member of our first-year team here as Ashlyn Ibaugh. The Larson gal would be her cousin, Troy Lynn, on our first team. I guess I could have looked at the program again.
So I'm not sure if they have transcribed roster numbers, and I apologize if we've gotten this wrong. Joanne Albrecht has snapped us on the chat saying that Marley is number 13, but our roster does not reflect that she's number 13. Alondra Hernandez, listed as a defensive specialist, I think is actually the one that is injured and walking off the court. So apologies to that as we get to know our teams here.
And that's a libero too. Our Sarah's down there. You could perhaps text her to see if that's the,
we'll do that
the number matches up.
Once we hit the break here in one more point perhaps. So
that's the drawback of being far away.
Right.
Otherwise I would have wandered over there a couple,
So Adam Simon is going to walk with our libero, and again, I apologize for that. It's in the roster, and as Marley wearing 12 and Alondra wearing 13, but apparently they are different, and so
we don't even have a 7, and that's what's out there right now is our new libero.
Wonder if that's an interesting situation there.
And it's interesting too because Peyton Williams has played libero before.
An ace by Langer is going to end game number 1. 25-20 Central, and we will take a break. We'll come back and get this sorted out. And again, extreme apologies on our misprint roster or if we've got something messed up. 25-20 Central wins game number 1. We'll be back here in just a moment on 88.1 and RustlerMedia.com. (25-20) Central takes care of business in game number 1, of this match. And again, we have our student Phil the show killer downstairs, Riley Bouillon checking on rosters for us. Again, normally we broadcast courtside, but
and these situations can be remedied in a hurry.
and we are now across the way up the stairs, well, out the building basically, then up the stairs of the fitness center, then up more stairs into the crow's nest here. And I try to make excuses, but
we're making excuses.
Exactly, and I feel terrible that we do that, and we'll get that corrected. 13 kills for Central, 6 kills for Rocky. 3 blocks Central, 4 blocks Rocky, 3 aces Central, 2 service errors Central, no errors and no aces for the Rocky Mountain JV. Leading in that first game was Mackenzie Templeton with 6 kills.
In fact, we have a different libero yet, in fact.
I believe that's Peyton now that is actually there.
And there's no number 7 now either anymore. So.
And yes, 13 is Marley Albrecht. So it was Alondra Hernandez that left with an injury. Have not seen her return as of yet. Back to volleyball. Peyton digs it. Back set with a left hand. Steffen sends it long. Ashley Steffen into the ball game.
Ashley, a local product from Shoshone, played on the team last year.
Langer to Templeton. Dig, actually kill by McKenzie. She's been making a living out there. Boyd sends it over. Central back to the middle. And Mortensen with a kill.
Joe kind of rocked Coulter backwards there.
Rasmussen serving into the net. Third serving error by Central on the evening. First of the game. Williams back in the orange jersey, the libero jersey into the back row for Rasmussen. Short serve. There's what I talk about, service errors coming in pairs.
And indeed a short serve.
It's not an adage for nothing. First time we'll see Marley Albrecht into the ball game. Despite I had her as the libero for most of the first game. So welcome, Marley. Good serve by Lacasio as Caitlin comes into the game. Sage sends one up front. Lacasio sets right side, pounding it down. Albrecht.
Interesting, we still don't have a 7 on the roster, and there's a 7 out there, not libero now.
Right. And I had done my due diligence. I talked to my class. I said, if you have a player that you don't have on the roster, that's your fault. And I asked him, said, everything good on the roster? Yep, and that's not the case. Nice job by Templeton. We'll get it, though. We'll get things put together.
And typically it happens to the team that we're playing, not to our team.
Lacasio with another, that's Albrecht with another kill from the outside corner.
That's also typically when June Dokes shows up on the roster.
Thought it was Joe.
It's a girl's game, a gal's game. We got to go with June Dokes.
Joe could be a girl's name. 5-2 Central.
That's JoJo Dokes.
Lacasio serving. Nice tough serve. Oliver, the libero, digs it. Blocked by Central as it's going to be Mortensen and Albrecht getting a piece of it.
Pretty much since midway of that first game, it's been all CWC, really.
Yeah, it got to about 15-15, and then it's been kind of a CWC runaway. Boyd receives it. Nice dig by Sage. A couple of players almost ran into each other, Williams and Locasio, and they can't get this second hit, and down it will go. Sierra Walsh back in from Billings Skyview for Rocky Mountain. Serving will be Sam Oliver. Nice short serve, good dig by Williams. And the set made Mortensen go backwards, and she sends it long and out.
Had to reach way back and just couldn't keep it in the court.
6-4, Rocky trailing by 2. Set middle. And Mackenzie Templeton doing what Mackenzie does, and that's racking up the Ks. 8 kills by my stat keeping. Back set, nice block by Mortensen. Cross court into the bottom of the tape by Erica Davis, and Central will double them up now, 8-4. Game number 1 went Central 25-20. They lead 1-0 as we're here in game 2. Coulter will check in for Davis. For Coach Sarah Irigoyen. Tapped back over by Mortensen. Back set, touched by Burnson, but Rocky gets the kill on the outside, Emma Fox.
Gone to a different setter in game number 2.
Lainey Wilkins, Brush Prairie, Washington back to serve for Rocky. Dressed in their green uniforms, Vegas gold kind of yellow numbers. Set middle, that will find a corner by Mortensen, her second kill of the evening. And she will exit as Rasmussen will enter.
Yeah, the aforementioned Locasio now is the setter out there.
Peyton Williams will set it up. I'm thinking that number 7 is Jordan Flippens of Hiram, Utah. But again, she's listed as number 19, and then Ava Rasmussen destroys that one. I thought maybe she was in the net, and that's what Sarah Irigoyen thinks as well. But they're going to give Ava the tally. It was a monster hit. I honestly thought she was in the tape myself, but so did Sarah Irigoyen, but nobody else apparently, so they're going to give Ava the kill. 10-5. Lander girls lead the Riverton girls 27-11 at halftime at the Bob Carey Memorial Fieldhouse in Lander. Set middle, blocked by Rasmussen and Burnson. Back outside, the lefty is going to be dug in the back court by Templeton. Near side, and they'll call her for a double. And take that point off the board, make it 10-6 Rocky.
Well, into the second game, and we've not seen the old campfire special so far.
It'll come before the year is over.
Before this match is over, I'm guessing.
Set middle, Burnson. Coulter got a piece of it.
I got a piece of her.
Exactly, maybe that way is probably more apropos, and Burnson will tally just her second kill of the night. Langer back in. And Langer will put it into the tape, and that'll be an error on Central.
I wasn't thinking she was going to be playing any sports this year, and just suddenly this opportunity came up, and she took it. She was all conference in the conference she was in Arizona.
Riley has looked at me like I'm crazy when I say service errors come in pairs, but guess what, Riley? That is the second time it's happened tonight. Burnson will try to avoid the triple. And does. Boyd cross. Dug by Williams. Back set. Ava rides the tape and falls out of bounds. And it's 12-8. Rocky out in front. Stefan back into the front row for Central. Ashley was not going to be a wrestler, and then going to be.
She had an injury last year as well for a while.
Concussion that lasted for a long time.
I kept trying to convince her, in fact, after the season ended, to play. And I'm sure that's what did it.
There's a mic tally we got.
I got that one. Mark that down for 1. That won't be the last.
In case you don't know what a mic tally is out there, it's when an announcer goes.
Does that count? I think
no,
you got 3. That counted as 3 right there.
Those were demonstrative purposes. I'm still, you're up 1-0 on those. Set outside, Templeton. Take a little off speed down the line and tally. Nine kills for Mackenzie Templeton. Rasmussen to serve with a 5-point advantage, Central. Coulter, self-defense, sets that one up. Rasmussen digs it. Langer, back row, Burnson, top of the tape. Down.
That was about our longest rally of the night. There's not been very many long rallies in this match.
Try to back row attack for Sage and can't get it to climb over. Serving Boyd down by 4. Sage shanked it a bit, saved by Langer. Stefan with a left hand off the block of Boyd will get her first kill of the night. Ashley, the 5'10" left-handed sophomore out of Shoshone High School. Albrecht back in. And we'll see a new server into the contest in Alexandria Lee from Baytown, Texas, the 5'6" freshman. Floating serve. Set to King, and she'll put it off the tape. The set, I don't think, was high enough because King can sky.
Yeah, we mentioned her name quite a bit early on in this match, but not so much as of late.
And she had to kind of reach down by her shoulder blade to grab that one, and it doesn't get over, and it's 15-9. Back set, cross, dig by Burnson. Kate Williams sets it to the outside for Albrecht. King over the block. Burnson is there to dig it out again. Templeton off the block. They'll dig it back up in the backcourt. And then firing it into the net is Wilson, and Central will win that rally. And we'll get a timeout called by the Battling Bears of Rocky Mountain. 16-9 our score. Don't forget, if you need more Rustler information, you can log on to rustlerathletics.com. There's schedules, there's stats, there's rosters, there's bios. You can also listen into 88.1 for the Rustler Minute every weekday. And on Thursdays is the Rustler Report, where we'll talk basketball, volleyball, and other sports. Joel Kindle and I interviewing coaches and players, and then you can find it on demand later that day at rustlerathletics.com. It's every Thursday on Rustler Radio. You can find the link to listen at Rustler Radio on Facebook. Also, don't forget, your home of black and orange Rustler apparel is the CWC bookstore here on campus. They are online, cwcbookstore.com. 24/7, they'll ship directly to your house. They have sport-specific t-shirts, sweatshirts, polos, stickers, decals, and more. cwcbookstore.com.
I think the roster from last year. Have you kept track of any of our sophomores how they're doing? I know that Fort Hays State hasn't started their season yet. We've got 2 players from last year's team there, and Jaden Daffer was an exceptional libero, and Elisa Glovat's a setter we mentioned earlier.
We still have Jordan Daffer listed on our roster along with Riley Boyle and Grace Gregory on our stats of our roster, as Rocky will tally.
How's Grace doing, by the way?
No stats yet, so unfortunate injuries for Grace hampering her career.
Boy, and she had a nice freshman year, really. Came off the bench and did very well. And last year, really no year.
Out of the timeout, Rocky tallies, and then Mortensen crushes one deep. It's not playable. 16-11, Rocky down by 5.
Almost went to Ashley Steffen's hometown.
Outside set. Albrecht will not get the kill because it's brought back on a free ball by Rocky Mountain. Set middle. Mortensen going to get called for a carry as that set was too low for her. She had to adjust and use her palm of her hand to try to help that one back over.
I think Riley Boyle of last year's team now plays at Western, I believe, doesn't she?
I have not, unfortunately, kept track as Albrecht will connect on that one, sending it past Oliver, the libero. Third kill for Marley Albrecht.
You know, the hike should have got us figured out on that one, I think.
You know, I thought so, but, you know, we're in the rafters looking down here as Templeton's serve not returned by Rocky in play.
And I was talking earlier about the heights, how they're not exactly scientifically determined by various coaches. You know, off mic here earlier.
Yeah, how tall are you? I'm about 5'7". Okay, I'll write that down. That's an ace.
And coaches will sandbag, well, and they'll also go the opposite way.
Right. Templeton with an ace.
CWC very much in command now in this match.
4 aces by Central with a 7-point advantage. They go after Boyd, bringing it back over Walsh. Free ball coming from Burnson. Rocky Mountain blocked in the middle and sent back over by Mortensen, all in one shot. Is back row. Templeton dug by Oliver. Blocked by Burnson on the return angle. 10-foot line sent over flat-footed by their libero, and then Albrecht drills one off of Boyd, and then a pancake by Oliver, but that's finally going to go down, and I'm going to give her a kill because that's the kind of generous stat keeper I am.
Nice effort by Oliver, though, on the pancake. It just couldn't get it up high enough to make a play on it. Already Division I, the #1 ranked team in volleyball is Wisconsin.
20-12 Central.
So we have to take that back. I know. So Abby Van Vossen is playing at Western.
Nice dig by Sage. Brought back up by Lee, and then a pound. And that's Haley Isom getting into the ball game with a kill. We need to have extra microphones like how the NFL brings in the ref official from New York or LA, and we need a couple of microphones on all the people that'll keep us up to date on what's going on
Also,
around the world.
If we're going to be doing games up here, we need like some super long mic cord, you know, a la Matizzi High School over to the scores table.
Exactly. That was a nice pancake effort by Peyton Williams, but they'll call it hitting the floor. And it is 21-13 now. Rocky. Yeah, a little overhaul of our roster is going to take place between now and the next home game for sure. And it's weird because we would normally interact with our players a lot more than we have, but with COVID and masks and protocols, it's just not been the case where we get to see and get to know them as much as we do. As that ball is tipped into the air. Long set to the side, but over. Bringing it back to Long. She'll tap it over. Great job by Lee. Right side Isom off the block. Give the block to Erica Davis from Manhattan, Kansas. 7-point Rustler advantage. They did win game 1 25-20 and are 1 game up to none. Call that one hitting the floor against Rocky.
Is that in the middle of the?
That would be in the campfire range. 8-point Rustler advantage. Peyton Williams serving. Haley Isom.
Aubrey Watcott playing somewhere this year, but I just forgot where it was.
I thought 2 of our players went the same place.
Well, there's 2 at Fort Hayes.
As that ball blocked by Rasmussen that brought back over our favorite Canadian, Carly. Another block. by Rocky. And coming in is Kiara Coulter.
Was Carly going to play in Canada? Is that correct, or was it somewhere in Minnesota?
I thought her and Aubrey maybe went to the same place. Carly
Connor.
Rasmussen connects in front of Coulter.
You know, Rocky some moments early, but not a lot of moments late.
Fell in game one 25-20, and now they're in danger of coming up even shorter than that here in game number 2. Langer's short serve, Coulter digs it up. Boyd sends it over, back to Burnson, cross over the net. Good dig by Boyd, back set with the left hand, deep and not playable. They want a touch, not gonna get it, and it's game point Central.
We'll see Ashlyn Eyeboy for the first time.
Ashlyn, a 5'6" freshman from Buffalo, Wyoming.
A lot of family roots here in Riverton. Her dad, of course, is Sheridan head basketball coach. Also Thermopolis at one time won a state championship there, in fact.
That one comes down on the Central side as Stefan and Rasmussen try to get the block on Boyd and don't get it accomplished. They got the block, it just came down on their side. Still game point, 24-16. Central out to an 8-point advantage. Eyeball outside, left hand by Stefan. And that will be her second kill of the match.
Kind of anticlimactic the way it ended. I don't think either team was aware that that was it.
We'll end game number 2 effectively at 25-16. And I had better type that in my sheet because it'll be gone when I come back from break. I'll take care of that now. 25-20, 25-16. Central out to a 2-0 lead on the visitors from Rocky Mountain Junior College. It is very close to 7 o'clock at KCWC FM Riverton. We'll be back with more. This is Rustler Radio, streaming live at rustlerathletics.com. Two games to none. Central is out in front with a 25-20, 25-16 game 1, game 2 victory. And the teams under COVID precautions do not switch sides anymore. You stay on your home and your visitor side as they have been in this formation all night long. And good news for Central fans as Alondra Hernandez, who started at libero, left with an injury, missed the entire second game, has come back to the gym. Big round of applause and a cheer from her teammates as she came back out onto the court. Again, our student broadcast crew directing is Dominic Dianzi, a sophomore out of Evanston. On our golf team, Riley Bouillon, also on the golf team, running a camera down below. He is down there with Jackson Morris. They've got the ground cameras. Riley's on the one of the Central girls, and Jackson's on the visiting side. Logan Miller is on the game cam, the big one that goes back and forth, and then when they see a close-up from up top, that is Newmark Rika Franca. And they are all under the direction of our new media professor, Amanda Nikoloff, and the new media program here at Central Wyoming College. And also thanks to Wyatt Barichka, who is now joining us up here in the rafters as we get ready for the second game. And Central is out of rotation to begin the third game, not the second, the third game.
That's pretty rare to see that.
Yeah, right out of the gate, Central gets busted. Langer, Mortensen, Templeton, Williams, Moyle, and Rasmussen, the 6 on the court, as they will redirect traffic out there. So already 1-0.
The officials explaining that cheaters never prosper.
Emma Fox, the left-handed serve. Set it back out to Templeton. She'll be blocked. Moyle is there to pick it up. Back set Rasmussen. Nice dig by Sydney Wilson. Brought back over by Boyd. Williams is there. Templeton again. Another touch block and another kill for Mackenzie Templeton. 10 on the night. Another double-digit kill night for Mackenzie Templeton.
I think Moyle played much in game 2, did she?
Didn't appear so. And
playing a lot of players, it appears right now.
Looked like Flippins was going to come in and then does not come in.
Yeah.
Not sure what that was about, but Rasmussen's going to serve from clear, the opposite other side of the normal serving thing. And I guess that's been, about a decade? We could probably not call it that anymore. Nice block between Templeton and Mortensen. Back in the old days, they only used to serve from near the team bench, but have adopted to more international rules. Like I said, that rule's probably been around for about 12 years now.
I wonder if you'll see a foot fault this year.
Nope, we see an illegal rotation on the Rustlers again, however. I thought, was that going to be a football? So they're getting her figured out.
This could liable to confuse you even more if you've been called twice for this, like where am I supposed to be?
Right, both points on the board for Rocky coming by Central's illegal rotation. 2-2 our score. Central up 2-0. Templeton blocked and out of bounds for another kill. 11 kills, 2 blocks, and an ace tonight for Templeton. Sophie Langer will serve. Peyton Williams comes out. Albrecht is back in for C-Dub. Boyd pass. Fox sets. Davis kills. Second kill for Erica Davis. And again, this Rocky team, their varsity, will play for the first time this season this weekend when they take on Montana Tech.
I think they play them twice, Friday and Saturday.
Right.
I think a lot of schedules are being made that way now.
I know UW is that way in the Mountain West as Albrecht pushes it over with one hand. Back set, touched by Mortensen. Back set, Albrecht runs it off the block and down the tape for a kill.
I don't believe the Mountain West has started volleyball as of yet, have they?
I don't believe competitions, but I think they're practicing.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the next time that Central Volleyball is home for their home tournament, fans are allowed, and I believe that is going to be the case, as new regulations from the governor went into effect today, but the NJC and Region 9 had already decided there would be no fans in the month of January, so Nice poke by Mary Moyle to score as a fairly long volley that I talked over with COVID regulations. And she will tally for a 5-3 Rustler advantage. I know they were allowing up to 250 or a certain percent, and I don't believe that we'll get the 250 in this venue, with it not being a very big gymnasium to start with. Langer's gonna set middle. Moyle is dug and then overpass and brought back down by Mary. And another kill for Moyle, her third of the evening. We talk about the sophomores, but it has been the lady with the ball in her hand right now that has done the damage for Central. Mackenzie Templeton, 11 kills unofficially tonight, following up her 16-kill effort she had in the 3-set win to close out the Nebraska tournament against Trinidad State. Outside, Davis is blocked. That one's going to go way deep, and it will be a ceiling clanger and a 4-hitter back to Central, and a timeout called by Rocky Mountain.
That is ceiling clanger number 2.
7:05 in the Mountain West. We'll be back with more volleyball. Central up 2-0, leading the third, 7-3. More volleyball on the way from Rustler Media and 88.1. (7-3) Rustlers leading game number 3. They already lead on the big board 2-0. And a shank will be an ace.
Boy, Templeton doing it all now.
That is her second ace of the evening, in fact. Back set from Rocky. Dig in the back row by Templeton. Outside is going to be a little too far, and Coulter puts it into the net. Battles it a second time. And comes up empty.
Sophie Langer almost got a kill on a bad set.
Templeton, low floating serve at Coulter. Set middle, Peyton Williams will pick up the scraps in the back row. Moyle shovels it off a block into the campfire. And Moyle with kill number 4. Central for the match, 34 kills to just 10 for Rocky Mountain unofficially. McKenzie still serving, going right at Coulter again. Coulter flat-footed will bring it back over. Set middle, Mortensen. Saved by Boyd in the back row. Central again on the attack. Back set, Albrecht off the top of a block and the tape. And then brought back over by Wilson. Near side Moyle, cross court to keep it in the antenna. Boyd is there to dig it up, and the back row from Oliver sends it deep. Templeton first hit. Back right side, Albrecht. Tallies it off of Boyd, and it goes over the head of Wilson.
Well, that was our longest rally there.
6 kills by Albrecht. And Templeton still serving. 11-3 C-dub. Rocky still has a timeout left, should they choose to stop some bleeding, but Central's going to be out of rotation for a third time. 3 out of the 4 points in this match.
That's what I was thinking, yes, because they've only won 1 point in play.
3 out of the 4 points
how do
in
you
the
get out
match
of rotation,
given up by
though,
Central.
She's been serving all along. I don't know how your rotation would have changed it all there.
Very good question. So Oliver is not the libero anymore. She's serving in a green jersey as she'll get an ace right in front of Templeton.
Seen 5 liberos in this match.
Yeah, Lainey Wilkins is now the libero wearing number 7 for Coach Irigoyen. Langer has to deal with a bad pass and can't, and that will give Rocky another point, 11-6. Williams with a receive, down the net, not very high did that set get, and it's stuffed by Emma Fox. That set really never got much more than about 6 inches off the top of the net, and what was 11-3 is now 11-7. Rocky battling their way back in it, down by 4 here on 88.1. We have a timeout.
I hope we get our positions right when we come out of the huddle.
Yeah, let's make sure we're in the right lineup when they come out of the huddle. Yeah, 3 out of the 4 points going to Rocky.
Early on in this
right,
set.
Now they've tallied up to 7, so sitting there. Once again, Central will be on the road this weekend. Our women's team will be going to, the volleyball team will be going to Salt Lake, and they'll play 3 teams getting national rankings. Western Nebraska number 12, Salt Lake number 13. CSI is receiving votes. They'll also play Western Wyoming that has basically, I think we split with them last year during the regular season, if I'm not mistaken, winning on each other's home floor. I don't remember 100% because last season was, what, a year and a half ago. Our volleyball team will be back home again when they host the Rustler Classic Friday, February 5th. Northwest and Colorado Northwestern will be matches at 11 and 5 on a Friday, 11 in the morning, 5 in the evening on a Friday. And then they'll play Colorado Northwestern at 9 o'clock Saturday morning as part of the Rustler Volleyball Classic. Deep serve, Langer sets one that Mortensen will kind of have to shovel over, but it counts nonetheless.
Will we see any of these power teams on our court, or is it pretty much all road that we'll see them?
Yes. I think it's all on the road because most of what we will see after that Rustler tournament is conference opponents. So Flippins into the ball game, listed on the roster as number 19, puts it into the net. Service error number 5 by Central. That is about the only category right now that Rocky leads Central in, as they have 2. Coulter serving. Langer to Moyle. Nice dig by Coulter, but then the second hit.
Yeah, they wasted the dig there.
Yeah, Wilkins and Fox battled each other for it, and it's 13-8, and Peyton Williams will come in to serve. Marley Albrecht exiting stage right. 5-point Central advantage, 13-8. They lead 2 games to none, and there's a near ace, but a carry going to be called. Going to throw in that one over was Boyd.
I kind of stuck with a horrible angle and just trying to figure out a way to get it over, but the carry took place.
14-8 our score. Williams.
Peyton using her basketball ability there before she served.
Little dribbles. Boyd is stuffed by Rasmussen and Langer. Ava has 3 blocks in the contest. She's the leading blocker on the team. Mortensen right behind her in numbers. 15-8 the score now. Floater by Williams and an ace. Went into that campfire and trying to dig it out was Sam Oliver, but couldn't. Peyton Williams with another ace by Central, their 6th of the match.
A couple of long service runs in this match.
And then a service error.
I kind of floated that one and it underfloated.
This is crazy. Unless I missed the stats, they had 22 aces against Trinidad State.
Well, that would be an incredibly high number.
Yeah, it would in a three-set match. I'll have to check my stats on that one. Of course, I got the stats from the same place I got the roster, so Coulter can't get that one along the back row. 17-9 now Central. Mary Moyle to serve. 17-9 Rustlers. Moyle deep. That might have been a double hit. In the back row as King will free ball it over too deep. 18-9 Central.
First time the score has been doubled up, I guess, since early going.
We're going to see Kendra Long from Gardner, Montana check into that back row for Rocky.
Got some time there.
There's 10 girls on this Rocky trip. Moyle serving, goes to the far line. Outside Boyd over the block. Peyton Williams is there. Langer's going to send it outside Templeton. That'll be another kill. Fires it off of Coulter. 12 kills, McKenzie. Sorry, Joel.
As I said, that Gardner, Montana is where most of the Yellowstone concessions are headquartered. Sure, that's interesting to all.
I took note. I wrote it down. 19-9 Central.
Few in West Yellowstone, but mostly in Gardner.
Another service error on the Rustlers. Thanks for tuning in on RustlerAthletics.com. (19-10) Central. Williams first hit. Langer outside Templeton. Block out of bounds. Kill McKenzie. 13 now. And Ava Rasmussen to serve as Flippins will come out. And in is Missy Mortensen. Rasmussen into the net. And really that is about the only thing that Central has struggled with tonight is the service errors. And they have 8 of them to just a couple for Rocky as Boyd will serve. Campfire, nice pancake out of the campfire by Boyd. They let her fly. Back set, Mortensen shoveled back up. King goes deep, but Rasmussen is there. Near side, Templeton off the block of King, hits Templeton. She'll get another kill or another block. Will Bailey King. 4 blocks tonight for Bailey. Just 2 kills, but she's been formidable at the net.
New looking uniforms this year. University of Florida wearing sleeveless uniforms. Haven't seen those in a while. Gators ranked 11th in the nation.
Both of these teams with sleeves. Says nice back set. Kind of a dink on the backside for Sophie Langer. And that's a kill.
We talked about our first setter, Katie St. John. Boy, she was the master of that.
I'm not sure if Langer intended that to go where it did and how it did, but it was pretty how it went. And we're going to see Lee check back into the game. Alexandria Lee serving it up with a 21-12 advantage. Central looking like they will take this one 3-0 against the Rocky JV. Rasmussen a dig in the back row. Lee to Moyle. Sends it back over. Free ball coming from Rocky. Moyle to Lee to set up the attack. Mortensen pokes it over with a left-handed fist. Free ball back over by the Bears. Templeton, nice dig. King sends it over, but they'll call her for the carry. And Central will get the point and now leads by 10.
CWC should take a winning record into their tournament this weekend.
Yeah, very tough tournament weekend coming up.
Is that considered a true tournament, really? I guess it's really a
classic.
A round robin sort of affair.
Eyeball back into the game for Moyle.
And I believe one of our line judges and her are cousins.
We were, and there's an ace by Lee. We were kidding around about maybe needing binoculars. But
maybe just new eyes.
yeah. My almost 50-year-old eyes. And how old are you?
Just shut up and hand me my cane.
23-12. Central with a commanding lead in game 3 to look to end this 3-0. Back row, Ibaugh flat-footed, rolls, shots it over. King, nice dig by Ibaugh, dug out of the net and sent back over by Ibaugh. Good job by Mortensen to dig that one out of the net. Cross court, Lee gets a piece of it, or maybe it got a piece of her, but it's free balled back over by Ibaugh now. Back set, King, blocked. I don't think it actually was blocked. I think it came off the net.
A lot of saves on the play that time to get the point eventually for CWC, and also it's a match point.
Match point coming your way. 24-12. Central won the first 2 and now looking to end this, make it a short night. Cross court. Albrecht will go from the 10-foot line. Shot back up in the air and then brought back over. Ibaugh. Lee hits the tape and it falls over, and that's how this will end. Lee will get a kill to end the night. Central unofficially 40 kills to just 10 for Rocky Mountain. And the teams waving at each other from across the gym rather than shaking hands at the net under COVID protocols. But Central taking this one in 3-set fashion here tonight. They win the first 25-20. They win the second 25-16. They win the third 25-12 as it progressively got wider distanced throughout the whole thing as Central wins in 3. We'll come back. We'll take a look at the post-game numbers and a look ahead to the next weekend and the next time the Rustlers will be here in their home gym and on rustlerathletics.com and the radio. Your Buckle Up for Life Wyoming postgame show brought to you by YDOT is next. This has been Rustler Volleyball. They win 3-0 here on 88.1. Post-game show on 88.1 brought to you by YDOT with the 511 app. Know the roads before you go. Download the app. Also check it out online at yoroad.info. Central winning 3-0 here this evening, and they advance their record to 3-2 on the year. They did so by taking the first game by a count of 25-20. They win the second 25-16. They win the third 25-12. And leading the way, Mackenzie Templeton, the 6-foot freshman from Highland, Utah, following up a 16-kill night on Saturday afternoon against Trinidad State with 13 kills here tonight. She had 2 blocks and 2 aces, did the freshman, to lead the way.
And you got to remember, too, a lot of subbing was going on, so those numbers perhaps could have been bigger. Also, if it would have gone 5 games, it would have been bigger as well.
Well, and that was one thing that my wife and I were talking about this week was, how stats are different for basketball. Basketball, you got 40 minutes. Volleyball, you could play 3, you could play 5. I mean, it's just such a weird stat to have.
And they've gone to that thing by, per game stat in volleyball. You see quite often now, too.
13 kills for Templeton, 7 kills for Ava Rasmussen, 3 blocks tonight for Ava as well. Marley Albrecht, 6 kills tonight. Missy Mortensen had 3. Mary Moyle had 4.
She had a good all-around game, too, to go with that.
Sage Burnson with 2. Ashley Steffen with 2. 1 kill apiece for our setters Langer and Lee in the contest, and 1 kill for Haley Isom as well. Central had 9 blocks. They outblocked Rocky 9-4. They outkilled Rocky 40-10. So out of the 75 points, 40 of them coming on kills for the home team tonight. They did have 7 aces and 8 service errors for Central here tonight. Leading the way, blocking, Ava Rasmussen had 3. Misty Mortensen had a couple. Mackenzie Templeton had a couple of blocks as well. Leading the way for Rocky Mountain, again, only 10 kills, and Davis had 2, King had 2, Walsh had 2. After that, one or nones on the other side. There were 4 blocks. They were all 4 by Bailey King, as she did very well patrolling the middle for Rocky. But Central overpowers the visitors tonight from Rocky Mountain JV, 25-20, 25-16, and 25-12.
Which gives you a cumulative score
of
75-48.
Took care of business.
That's a stat that a lot of people don't get,
Yeah.
Also, 2 ceiling clangers and 1 intentional mic hit.
There you go. Well, there was a couple of intentionals that I did. Yours was unintentional.
That's what I said, unintentional.
Oh, I thought you said intentional. My bad. So next up for CWC Volleyball, they will be at Salt Lake this weekend. And according to the last schedule I have, they'll play Western Wyoming at 3. They'll play College of Southern Idaho at 7. And then on Saturday, they'll take on 12th-ranked Western Nebraska at 9 in the morning. They'll play 13th-ranked Salt Lake at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, check rustlerathletics.com for updated times. You can log on to the Rustler Athletics Facebook page as well as the Rustler Radio Facebook page, and we will get you links to watch these games on the road. Next, home games for the CWC volleyball team will be Friday, February 5th, when they host the Rustler Volleyball Classic. Northwest College from Powell and Colorado Northwestern from Rangeley, Colorado, coming in for games on Friday and Saturday of that week. Next home contest for CWC Sports is Monday, February 1st, when the men's basketball team will host Colorado Northwestern, and they have a tip-off time slated for 6:30, and you can listen to it live on 88.1. You can watch it on rustlerathletics.com. Joel, final thoughts?
A good win for CWC, I think, because it builds up their confidence some as they, try to get going. So it's, a 2-2 trip to Nebraska. I think they played pretty well over there, actually, and I think here, as they're going to get fed into the fire with some pretty good teams coming this weekend, I think it was a good win for them, and a very dominant win at that.
Yeah, for sure. 2 teams ranked inside the top 13, one other team ranked, getting votes, I guess, for the top 20 in the first one that they'll play on the weekend. I guess they'll play Western Wyoming first and then end with those other 3 ranked teams as well. But Central takes care of business tonight. They win 25-20, 25-16, and 25-12, and they will be taking on the powers that be this weekend in Salt Lake, and then back home again February 5th and 6th. Do want to thank our new media team that has been on the cameras directing tonight. Dominic Dianzi, Riley Bouillon, and Wyatt Barichka on camera. Logan Miller and Newmark Rika Franca up here in the top of the scores nest. Jackson Morris manned the other camera. Ryan Whitehurst in that as well as Yeah, the roster, we're going to go get that straightened out right now as well, so we'll go check that out. But thanks to all of them, our new media crew, for being a part of this here tonight. With that, we're going to say goodbye. You can catch it more sports at rustlerathletics.com, and you can also check out Rustler Radio on Facebook and all of the social media for athletic teams at CWC as well. For Joel Kindle, I'm John Gabrielson. Francis Obakoya, thank you so much, our Wyoming PBS engineer. Have a great Tuesday night from KCWC FM.